Yeah, boys, we got it together most of the way. This thing's looking pretty dope. So this is the Minarelli engine that I've been working on for a while. This is the California Minarelli PK80 Wildcat engine. It's pretty cool. Have a lot of work into this engine. Balanced crank, upgraded bearings, tore the SAF clutch off my YD100. I'm using a A.M.B intake that I ported the other intake, the Minarelli intake, to match it. And I'm using this 21mm OKO carburetor. I'm using the A.M.B Miami cylinder head. Sadly, I had to cut it. It just barely clears. But I'm using this Molik Performance CR80 pipe. I believe, according to the guy I got this from, Mitch Green, he said that this was off of Ethan's bike. So that's pretty dope. Fits just perfectly. I did have to shave the head off, so that's a bummer, but we should be pretty good. The other cool thing, I was able to port the transfers on this spacer, so the transfers align perfectly on this thing, so that's pretty cool. I just have this universal slip fit exhaust on here. As you can see, it's pretty wobbly. I have this thing mounted. I don't have a exhaust gasket yet. I'm gonna need to find a way to support this pipe. I do know that the mounting point on the threads on these Minarelli engines, they're much better than the China doll cylinders, so this thing shouldn't strip out, but still, I need to get a support for this thing. The location of the carburetor is a bit concerning. The petcock is going to be right there, and I'm going to need to get a air filter on this thing somehow. I'm thinking I might just get a 45-degree angle hose and do that, just so this is out of the way a little bit, the carburetor. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. This is just a CDH felt faker frame that I polished and shined up. As you can see, my reflection in there. I didn't do a great job, and it's pretty scratched up because I still don't have a kickstand on this thing, and it's smudged because my fingerprints and stuff. But this thing shines like a mirror when I first did it, and it wasn't all smudged and everything. The fork on this thing is a Marzocchi Bomber Junior D. This is like a 20-year-old fork back from 2005, I think. It's pretty dope. Just a standard spring downhill fork, 200 millimeters of travel. So, yeah, pretty cool. And I like these triple tree forks because you can heighten and lower them. So if I want to bring this, the frame to sit lower to the wheel, I can. Or if I want to bring it up, make the front end taller, I can do that as well. So that's pretty cool. These wheels, I just built myself. These are Beach Cruiser wheels off a Beach Cruiser I had. We'll see if they hold up, but yeah. The brake setup, this is a Molik Performance pit brake setup. We have the 203mm rotor with a $20 pit bike hydraulic caliper. And yeah, and then for these, we're using integrated stems. We're using just a combination of shims on here. Don't know if that'll last, but we'll see. This is just a $15 CNC throttle assembly that I got off AliExpress. It works pretty well and it's pretty dang smooth. I don't know if it's going to be smoother than the plastic ones. We'll see, but it looks pretty dope. And of course they came with these knockoff Pro Taper grips. They look pretty dope. Got these handlebars for $20. Pretty nice. I like them because they're wide and all that stuff. And they're pretty solid. These tread, these were actually $60 for, they came both of the tread and the tubes and the rim tape and everything, $60 off Amazon. They're actually amazing quality. I'm actually planning on getting them for my 212 bike. As you can see, these are just the old worn out beach cruiser tread that actually came off of these wheels. So yeah, I definitely need an upgrade for this thing. I was going to get the Maxxis hookworms, and I still might, just because those are higher quality and they'll probably last a bit longer. But for like $60 versus $100 almost for the hookworms, these are actually pretty dang good. I'll leave a link in the description for them. But yeah, at the moment, there's a few setbacks on this bike, mainly the fact that these cranks don't work. So they're real wobbly. I could fix them, but the other thing, I forgot that there's clearance issues on this SAF clutch. So yeah, and if I was younger and if I did the stupid stuff I did before, I would shave this crank down so it would clear, but I want something nice for this bike. I don't want to jerry rig it, and that really compromises the integrity of your crank, especially right there on the threads. So I'm not going to do that. I'm either going to get some wider cranks, or I'm just going to get the really stubby cranks that I've seen a few people use. But yeah, and there's that. There's also chain issues. So I'm having issues with the alignment of the chain. I honestly don't know if it's the sprocket, if it's the engine. I don't know. I'm using this 44 tooth on a 203 millimeter sprocket. I'm probably going to use something more like a 220 millimeter sprocket, but I'm not sure yet. But yeah, and if need be, I'll get a smaller front sprocket here, so I can get away with using a smaller sprocket in the back, so I can use disc brakes back here. But we'll see about that. But yeah, it's coming along pretty nicely. It rolls pretty well, and I'm hoping I can get this thing running in no time. So there'll be another update later on. Have a good one, guys.